What's up, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Hello. How's it going? This is the March Mascot Madness 2020 bracket reveal stream. I'm going to go through each one of the opening round matchups, all 32 in total. Break it down for you just a little bit. I don't have like advanced statistics or anything, but I have like records and best finishes so that you can make a pick at the website right there, right down below where I'm pointing. That's challenge. That's CHALLONGE.com/March Mascot Madness 2, numerical 2. Yeah, I'm very excited about this. I've worked real hard on it. I forgot how much I needed to use my mouse. I was like, I'll just put it out of my way, and then I was like, well, I need to use it a lot. Okay. So we'll jump right into it here. The first matchup is the opening matchup for every Mascot Madness ever, for the past, present, and future. It is the Apple Basket, because you score baskets in basketball. It's really stupid, not funny at all, but I like it. So we have Washington playing at Washington State. This one flips every time it's played. Last September it was played in Seattle. This time it's back in Pullman. Washington's best finish was the round of 32 in last year's March Mascot Madness. Oh, I'm sorry. Last year's March Mascot Madness and September Mascot Madness. They currently have a record of 2-2, and Washington State is still yet to pick up a victory, but I picked them to go far every single year. They are one of many teams that does not have a victory just yet. So we'll move on to number 2, which I can't read as far as I thought I could. We have Michigan State against Texas. And that's part of why I'm doing the stream, is to like show off the teams so you know who to pick. So we'll go back here to the M, Michigan State, and we'll go to Texas. So we have Spartans versus Longhorns. I like this color matchup. I like the green and the orange together. I think it looks really nice. That's just a thing that I think. So that is our second matchup. I guess I should probably explain what's happening. Basically what happens is I set up 64 teams to play each other. This year's game is in NCAA March Madness 06. It was previously in NCAA March Madness 2005 in March, and then in September I moved it to NCAA 2009. But that game did not look very good, even though it played a little bit better. And it was also missing two of the more fun teams, in the Oregon Ducks and the Cincinnati Bearcats were both out. So I had to sub them in with other teams that I honestly didn't want to use. Because if I'd wanted to use them, I would have put them in the original March Mascot Madness. So this game that we're currently using is NCAA March Madness 2006. Which, from a couple of test games, seems like it runs a little bit better. It looks nicer than 09 does, but it plays better than 05 does. And basically, what happens is I set the game up. So, like, we'll take Michigan State here and Texas. Their stats don't matter. The rankings don't matter. The mascots are totally overpowered, and they're very good across the board. Set them up, and we just watch them. They play 10-minute halves on the hardest difficulty, and I commentate along and fill out the bracket as the results come in, and it's a competition to see who wins. There's not really a prize, but you get bragging rights for a couple months until we do it again in September. So that's kind of the basic gist of it. Each stream is broken down into 8 games, which takes roughly 4 hours. So it'll be, it's so weird. The first 4 streams is the entire first round. The second 4 streams are the entire rest of the rest of the tournament, including the final stream, which covers the Elite 8, Final 4, third place game, and the championship. So that one's very densely packed. Moving on here, though, we have Michigan State and we have the Texas Longhorns. Michigan State's best finish is the round of 32 last March. They have a record of 1-2, and Texas's best finish was the Sweet 16 in both March Mascot Madness and September Mascot Madness last year. They currently have a 4-2 record. We'll move on to matchup number 3 here. Temple at Arkansas. Temple, that's the wrong way. Learn your alphabet, Sean. T. Temple versus Arkansas. A team that I thought was mistakenly on the on the list. This is a very red matchup. I should also point out there are 2 games that always take place. The first game that's up at the top, I forgot to move this down. The first game that happens is Washington and Washington State. That is, I live in Washington, so that's the big rivalry is Washington versus Washington State. Even though Washington probably considers their chief rival Oregon over the Cougars, which is fine. The other game that happens every year is Stanford versus Ohio State, because my mom does not like either of those mascots. So I thought it'd be fun to put those in there, and I actually have grown to love that matchup quite a lot. And those just alternate the home and away teams throughout the tournaments. So we have Temple, another team who has never won a game. They have an 0-2 record. And Arkansas, whose best finish was a Sweet 16 in September. They currently have a 2-2 record. Their best finish is just how far they got, win or loss. Most of them are based on the loss. Like, they won 2 games, and then they lost the third, and then they probably got booted in the first round. There are a lot of teams that have played between like 2 and 5 games. And in fact, I would say that's most teams have played between 2 and 5. You'll see a lot of similar records of like 1-2, 2-1, 3-2, 1-2, stuff like that. Just as we kind of move through here. Next up, we have South Carolina and Louisville. This is an interesting matchup. I keep wanting to grab the Xbox One controller, but that's not going to help me here. Let's see, what did I say? South Carolina. Learn my alphabet. South Carolina. And Louisville. There we go. Another very red matchup. Holy Nikes. We're getting all the red teams out of the way early on here. Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom. South Carolina's best finish is the round of 32 last September. They currently have a record of 1-2. So they won 1, and then they got booted in the first round. And Louisville, their best finish is 3rd place in the first March Mascot Madness last year. They have a current record of 7-3. They're very good. They have the second most games played. They have 10. One of 2 teams that has double-digit games played. So if you're looking for like a solid pick, maybe Louisville is your answer. Hang on. I didn't account for this. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Grab the right thing. Okay. Now I should be able to move it a little freer. It really likes to magnetize, which is like really nice. So if you're moving stuff around, it'll like lock into place and won't overlap or fall short or whatever. But I didn't have it long enough. Let's see. Who do we have? We have Georgia Tech at Pittsburgh. Georgia Tech. LMNOP. Every time I see the Pittsburgh mascot, I think of Mac in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia trying to get cat eyes for The Night Man Cometh. So here we go. Finally breaking away from the red-based teams, moving over to some blues, yellows, and blacks. Oh, I hit the wrong button. I hit a button. What was that? Georgia Tech. I wish I don't have a great spot to just like set a controller down. Georgia Tech's best finish was the Sweet 16 last March. They currently have a 2-2 record. Pittsburgh, however, looking for their first win. And I don't know how you don't have a win with those eyes. Look at those eyes. Those look focused. They are ready to claim victory against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. Right. So far that is 3 winless teams playing on the first day. All right. Next up, we have New Mexico and Tennessee. New Mexico has a horrible mascot. Tennessee has a pretty good mascot. So there you go. You have Volunteers versus Lobos. Quite the matchup here. Back to the red-based teams as well. New Mexico has a best finish of the round of 32 in September. They have a 1-2 record. Tennessee, on the other hand, their best finish was 4th. They did that in September. They have a record of 4-3, which sounds a little bit weird, but the third place game, if you don't, you can win 4. Ideally, you want to win 6, right? You win straight out, you win 6. If you finish 4th, which happened obviously to 2 teams, Tennessee included, you get 4 wins really quickly, and then you get 2 losses just as quickly, and then I think they must have been eliminated. Obviously, they were eliminated in the first round of the previous tournament. I believe they lost to Texas in that first tournament. So they have a just over 500 record with quite a few games played. 7 games played is a lot in this tournament. We'll move on. Gonzaga keeps starting in the first round. They keep getting... Excuse me. Oh, snap, mascot mode. Hell yeah. Gonzaga keeps playing on the opening days. I think they've played on the opening day every single time. And by every single time, I mean twice. But I think because of where they end up positioned in the bracket, I just realized I never finished my thought. Because they end up in the top quarter of the bracket, they always end up playing first. My thought earlier, as I was trying to explain this, for some reason I got totally distracted by it. There are 2 set games. Washington State. Down at the bottom, we'll have another one, Ohio State and Stanford. All the other games are just mixed up. I put them into a list generator. I run it through about 5 times. I take whatever it gives me, throw it in here, and that's how the bracket gets filled in. So if you were watching like 7 minutes ago and you're like, he started a thought and then he wandered away from that thought and then got distracted and then forgot that he was talking about something, that's what happened. I got distracted and I forgot about something. There you go. Oh, I need to fix the teams that are on the screen right now. Damn it. You could have been looking at the Bulldogs versus the Ball State, whatever they are. Dude, shout out to Ball State. Oh, man, we haven't even gotten to the good mascots yet. Oh, I love this so much. All right. Gonzaga Bulldogs. Wow, number 4. The rankings don't matter, but I didn't realize Gonzaga was this highly ranked in 2006. They were never ranked number 1 until a couple years ago. People made a really big deal out of it because, they're a small school. And they're still very highly ranked to this day. They have a very good program. Gonzaga's best finish is the Elite 8. That was in September, and they have a record of 5-2. Ball State has a best finish of Sweet 16, and they have a record of 2-2. Gonzaga's looked pretty good throughout both of the tournaments, finishing at least in the Sweet 16. Oh, God, I don't know why I said that, and I was like, did that really happen? I'm pretty sure it happened. But, yeah, there you go. Next up in the final round, or final matchup of the first round, as I make sure I grab the correct thing, we have Villanova against Iowa. Villanova, Villanova and Iowa. I haven't looked at any of these. Oh, this one's good. This one is good. He's both. Both. This is the what should we call this? The attempted to smile matchup. Oh man. So Villanova at Iowa. Um, I'm so all over the place. This is all going to start on March 1st of 2020. It'll start about 4 p.m. The first round will run on the 1st. And then the 6th, 7th, and 8th of March will be the first round. And then if you miss the live streams, you can catch them every Saturday and Sunday throughout the month of March over on YouTube. So if you miss out, you can watch them there. And if you missed part of this stream, this will be up Thursday morning. That Iowa mascot. Yeah. They really stuck with that beak. Villanova has a best finish of the round of 32 in September. They have a 1-2 record. Iowa has a best finish of Sweet 16. In the March tournament, they have a current record of 2-2. So there you go. That is day number 1. Look at that. Quarter of the way through the reveal. I gotta organize this. It took a surprisingly long time to get this all set up. I was like writing stats for a while, and I started at like 7:10 or something like that, and I was like, oh, I should be able to start by 8, and then I got to like 8:05, and I was like, well, done with those stats. I like cracked my knuckles, and I looked at the time, and I went, I haven't even done the bracket parts, and I haven't organized the screen yet, and oh god. So here we are. Moving on, day number 2 is going to tip off with, conveniently, another Iowa team, the Iowa Cyclones. Boy, Harper's Ghost, if you liked the Iowa mascot, or at least laughed at it, I bet you'll like that. The Iowa State mascot, and they will be playing California. I have these in the wrong spot. So let me go here. California, a great mascot. Very good. Kind of has that like big doofy cutesiness to it that I think makes it very endearing. It looks like it's changed up its cardigan a little bit, but still looks good. Iowa State's best finish was the Elite 8 back in the March tournament. They have a record of 3-2. California, best finish, they've never won. They are 0-2, so they're looking for a victory. Holy-ish. I mean, at least he smiled correctly. The other Iowa Hawkeye was like, did I get it? Is it good? Yeah. But, yeah, there you go. This is going to tip off day number 2. That'll be Friday, March 6th. That one will start a little bit later. That'll probably start around 7. Just as a heads up. Don't think that everything's starting at 4, because you are mistaken. Next up, we have one of my favorite mascots. And one of my favorite things to do is smack pages into keyboards. But we have one of my favorite mascots. We have North Carolina versus Memphis. LMN. North Carolina Tar Heels. And the Memphis Tony the Tigers. Oh, geez. That's a very dark joke. North Carolina Tar Heels are away. I love the Memphis Tony the Tigers. They are great. Quality comedy here. Or something. I don't know. Some dude talks into a microphone and unintentionally says funny things sometimes. Or just, is an embarrassment. Whatever. North Carolina was one of the teams that, when I was writing these notes out, I was like, I don't remember watching very many of their games. And there's a reason for that. Their best finish was the round of 32 back in March, and they have a 1-2 record. On the flip side, Memphis has a best finish in the Elite 8 back in March. They currently have a record of 3-2, though I think that is incorrect, because I think they should have 4 wins. No, wait. Round 1, round 2, round 3. Loss. Oh, they must have lost in the first round of the September mascot tournament. Cool. I'm glad I was able to figure that out. Hopefully, I'm pulling for Memphis. I hope they win. Not to persuade you or anything, but do it. Ooh, we're following this one up with Cincinnati and Nebraska. Cincinnati and Nebraska. And this one is quite the how do I want to say this? Opposites, polar opposites. We have the Cincinnati Bearcat, pretty cute, and then we have Lil Red, who looks like an idiot and looks even worse in person because he has the texture of a blimp. No, what are the balloons? The Macy's Day Parade floats. That's what I was trying to think of. Nope, that's not what I was thinking of. Whatever. He's a very plastic texture. He looks really dumb. Not a fan. Cincinnati's best finish is the Sweet 16 back in March. They have a record of 2-1. That record is a little bit weird because they did not play in the September mascot tournament because of NCAA 09, which did not have Cincinnati or the Oregon Ducks. So there are two teams whose records are going to be just a little bit off. Nebraska, on the other hand, is looking for their best finish ever, which would mean that they win one game because they are currently 0-2, and I kind of hope it stays that way. God, Lil Red is just the worst. Just the worst. Next up, we have... please, you poop. Hang on. I bumped the microphone. That's on me. There we go. We have Marquette and Baylor. Baylor, terrific. Terrific mascot. Love it. Big fan. Marquette, not terrible. Not great, though. Like vinyl material. Yeah, I guess. Just like a super, slippery material. He looks awful, both in-game and in real life. But hey, it is what it is. This mascot matchup is great. I love Baylor. They have a big doofy head. They're just cute and cuddly. Looks like they have a shine to them. Kind of weird. Whatever. Marquette, the Golden Eagles, not a bad mascot. Not great, but whatever. Marquette is looking for their best tournament finish ever, which means, again, that they just win a game because they are currently 0-2. Oh, and Baylor also looking for their best finish as well. They are 0-2 as well. So this is one of the someone has to win matchups. One of these teams is going to get a victory. Kind of feels like a victory by disqualification, but what is that bird mascot? It's a thing. It's a golden eagle. You know? I don't know. I think I know which one I'm picking. We're in a string of at least half good mascots here. Our next matchup is Georgia versus Syracuse. So go back here to G. Georgia, the Bulldogs, versus that other team that I'm forgetting, Syracuse. Which is too bad because they have a great mascot. Yes. God, I love the orange. I love the orange so much. It's so great. Oh, man. Syracuse. So Georgia, their best finish was the Elite Eight back in last March. They have a current record of 3-2. Syracuse made it all the way to the finals. Their best finish is second, and that was in the September mascot tournament as well. They currently have a record of 5-2. Syracuse, for whatever reason, they either go to the finals or lose in the first round. There is no in between. There is no, oh man, we got to the Sweet 16. It was like we're either going all the way or we're going home immediately. Syracuse, they're great. They are great. I think they even had I think they even had the previous championship matchup on their home floor. Next up, UNLV the Runnin' Rebels facing off against Connecticut. I always forget about Clemson. Oh, they're so good. Oh my God, Clemson. All right, here we go. Focusing up. Whew. We have the UNLV Runnin' Rebels and the Yukon Huskies. Known much more, the Yukon Huskies are known much more for their dominant, incredible women's team more than their men's team, even though they're ranked number 5 here. Again, the rankings don't matter, so follow your heart. Pick who you want to win. We have store brand Yosemite Sam over here versus a dog that's naked. So take your pick. Yeah, UNLV's best finish is the round of 32 back in the first March tournament. They have a record of 1-2. Yukon, their best finish is the round of 32. I don't think that is right. Hang on. Hold on. CHALL. Their record, I didn't write their record down correctly. I either didn't write their record down correctly or their best finish down correctly. Oops. FCONN. Connecticut. It looks like. Oh, okay. I just didn't write their record down. So that's 1-1. Oh no, I did write that record down, right? I'm dumb. Yep, okay, never mind. Didn't figure that one out. I had the other one figured out, but alright, sorry about that. Their best finish is the round of 32. They have a record of 2-2. For some reason, that threw me off, and I just didn't think about it deeply enough. Yes. Okay. Next, we have a defending champion. Well, not the defending champion, but a tournament winner. We have Duke versus Clemson. We'll just move right on over to Clemson. Just beautiful. Just beautiful, beautiful, stupid idiot looking Clemson. And that pose is perfect. He looks like he has a double chin. It's fantastic. Oh, man. Oh, that's so good. And then we have Duke. Duke won the inaugural tournament, beating the beloved Alabama, the beloved Lumpies. Duke, their best finish, first in the previous March tournament. They have a record of 6-1, which means that they won the first tournament and then immediately got eliminated in the second tournament, which was, I'll be honest, it was kind of relieving because I was like, it would really suck if Duke just wins a bunch of tournaments. But we have had 2 different champions so far. Clemson, on the other hand, their best finish is the round of 32, which is unfortunate because that happened last March, which means we've only got to watch 3 games of this beautiful mascot, and they have a record of 1-2. I feel like this is a really strong. This second day is a really strong day of mascots. We have a Pac-10 matchup. Now the Pac-12, but Pac-10 when this was released. We have, was it Georgetown? No, Oregon State. I don't know how I read that so incorrectly. Oregon State. And UCLA. So a Pac-10 matchup here. Bruins versus Beavers. The Double Bs. Oh, man. Oregon State, their best finish was the round of 32 back in March. They have a record of 1-2. UCLA's best finish, also the round of 32, but that was in September with a record of 1-2 as well. So there you go. A little Pac-12 or Pac-10 action to wrap up day number 2. That's an empty can, which doesn't reveal anything at all about my life. All right. Hey, we're halfway through. 30 minutes in. Make this next part go a little quicker. Of course, I don't have to explain anything. I think I've covered everything. So we'll get rid of that. Boom. Start day number 3. Here, we will start with Auburn at Kentucky, which is an SEC matchup, I believe. Auburn and Kentucky. The Kentucky mascot is awful, but the Auburn mascot kind of looks like they don't have a mouth, which is equally unnerving. Where am I on my page here? So this will be day number 3. This will tip off that action. We have Auburn with a best finish of the round of 32. That was back in September. They currently have a record of 1-2. Kentucky made it all the way to the Elite 8 back in September as well, and they have a current record of 4-2. So there you go. Just a couple of... I feel like that Auburn Tiger is just staring into my soul. I'd like to get them off the screen, and so I'll go ahead and do that with Mississippi State and LSU. So we have Mississippi State. Oh God. And LSU, EFGHIJKL, little Tiger action. Mississippi State would look for, or is looking for, their best finish ever. They have never won a game. And they would have to play pretty well, probably, to take down LSU, who is currently has a 9-3 record. Their best finish is 3rd back in September. LSU has actually played in both 3rd place games. They finished in 4th place in March, and then they finished in 3rd place in September. So logic would dictate that LSU will finish 2nd this time around, and then they will finish 1st in the September tournament. So take that for what you will. And they also have the most games played at 12 games. We have seen a lot of LSU basketball because they played the maximum amount of games both times I've done this, which is fine. I don't have anything against LSU. They did just win the national title in football, so maybe they could let some other people win some stuff. It would, maybe be nice. Moving along here, we have NC State at Florida. Oh, that was very nice and easy. Everything was lined up. I don't know why NC State's hat is so blurred out. Maybe it's a bad image that we shouldn't be showing on the internet. NC State, I wanted to say NCAA. NC State has a best finish of a round of 32 in both September and in March. They have a record of 2-2, which I know now is correct because of the other one that tricked me. And then Florida's best finish was in the Elite 8. They have they did that in March, and they have a record of 5-2 currently. So there you go. I believe the Gators, his name is Albert. Just a fun fact for you. Move along here, back to the B's, and we will get Ball State. Nope, I'm sorry, Penn State. Hang on, we're going to the P's. Penn State versus Wisconsin. The W's have strong mascots all the way through. Yeah, they have strong mascots all the way through. I was worried that there was like one more that was terrible that I didn't see. But we have the Wisconsin Badgers, the Penn State Nittany Lions. This is a Big Ten matchup. Yeah, it's Big Ten matchup. Nope. Please, sir. No. There we go. Just go back to Wisconsin. I need to grab my notebook. But I didn't plan this out very well. I put my notebook where my controller was. Now I had to put my controller where my notebook was. It's a whole mess. My nose has decided that it's time to run. Penn State is looking for their best finish ever. That means they have not won a game yet. Wisconsin, their best is surprisingly just the round of 32. They have one of the best games so far that's been played in either tournament. They had an overtime thriller against the Texas Tech Yosemite Sams, and they weren't able to carry that momentum any farther than that. So they currently have a record of 1-2. Move on over to the A's with the perfect mascot, the best mascot ever. And we have, that's not true, it's not the best mascot ever, but I do love it. Alabama, like honestly, Alabama should be Utah State. Alabama should be my favorite football team because they have they have an elephant for a mascot. Love elephants. They have numbers on the side of their helmets, which is a thing that I find aesthetically appealing. But I don't actually love them. They also had, I think Bart Starr played for them back in the day. Super Bowl winning Packers quarterback. I mean, all the stars are lining up here. And it just didn't happen. So there you go. The Alabama Crimson Tide, which I'm sure if you've watched any of the Pokemon stream, you know how much I love elephants. Utah State is Utah State. Their best finish was back in March, and they made it to the round of 32, currently carrying a 1-2 record. Alabama's best finish is second. They lost to Duke in the March tournament. They currently have a record of 7-2. I believe they made it to the Sweet 16. Yeah, I think they made it to the Sweet 16 in the September tournament, and boy did they lose in heartbreaking fashion. Speaking of losing in heartbreaking fashion, if you're curious, you can go back and watch full tournament chunks. They're in 8 different parts. Both of them are up on YouTube. And then before the September Mascot tournament tipped off last September, I counted down the 5 best March Mascot Madness games in anticipation of that, and I'll be doing that again this time around, and I will be starting that on Friday, January 31st. So if you're watching this on Twitch, Friday, there will be a little game, one of the best games of the last tournament. If you're watching this on YouTube, just check back tomorrow, and there will be a game that you can watch. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to probably put the Alabama game in there because it was very good. Very good, right down to the wire. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. We have a string of really, really, really great mascots, and I didn't realize that they were all so close to each other. Otherwise, I honestly probably would have spread them out a little bit because they are some of the fan favorites in this tournament. So we have Northwestern taking on East Tennessee State. I will point out that the favorite in this is Northwestern. The Wildcat is beloved. East Tennessee State is a thing that they exist. But the Northwestern Wildcats captured our hearts back in March. They very quickly became a favorite. Obviously, I love Alabama. There are a couple other mascots that really stand out, including the Oregon Duck, which is partially why I went back a couple years to get them back involved, because I really like the Oregon Ducks. So Northwestern, their best finish was the Sweet 16 back in March, currently working with a record of 2-2. They made it to the Sweet 16. That was their only 2 victories. They got bounced in the first round in the first March Mascot Madness tournament, and then they are going up against East Tennessee State. East Tennessee State, their best finish was back in March. They made it to the round of 32. I believe they made it out of the What the F Bowl, or I think it was them versus Nebraska, if I remember correctly. And it was just 2 mascots that were like, what are these? What in the heck are these? And especially What the heck are you, East Tennessee State? So they currently have a record of 1-2. Go back to, oops, that's not what I want. This one, continuing that streak of beloved mascots, and kind of why I maybe should have spread these out a little bit more. But I let the mascot gods bless us with some good stuff. We have Boston College taking on Ohio. Ohio, kind of like the Northwestern team, just a mascot people really liked and rooted for. I think it's great. I love that it doesn't look anything like the design that's on its shirt. And I don't think this mascot exists anymore. There's a couple of them. This one and one of the other, Tulsa, which is a team that we'll talk about coming up. They switched their mascots out, to much to the dismay of myself, much to the hurt of me. Which I know that these teams that I'd ever watch on television or go to any games, they should always consult me first about what they're doing with their mascots. But I looked it up. They switched out the Ohio mascot. But I did also learn that there was and I may have done this during a game in the last tournament. I learned that there was an okra mascot. Because why not? NCAA, EA Sports, please make another one of these games with more mascots. The weirder, the more bizarre, the better. I am more than happy to switch out the Boston College Eagles, get them out of here, and put in okra. Happy to do it. Boston College is working with a record of 1-2 after finishing with their best finish in the round of 32 back in March. Ohio's best finish is the Elite Eight back in March. They have a record of 4-2. So they made it all the way through to the Elite Eight and then lost pretty early, unfortunately, in the September tournament. And yeah, that's a little string of some pretty good mascot match-ups. I didn't even move the thing down on the bracket. There you go. There's Boston College and Ohio. And then really quickly we'll talk about Georgetown and Colorado. Georgetown, Colorado. It's not Georgetown, Colorado. It's there they are. There's another glimpse at the Clemson Tiger, just for fun. Game. What's going on there? Okay. Yep. The Dayton Flyers. Hang on. What happened there? That is weird. Alright, we'll go over here to the... Just didn't load in correctly. Alright, cool. Georgetown. Hoyas, Colorado Buffaloes. The Colorado Buffaloes at this point in time were in the Big 12. They are now in the Pac-12. But that doesn't matter because this is a game from 2005. Georgetown looked for their best finish ever. They are 0-2. And Colorado, their best finish is the round of 32 in both March and September's tournaments. They currently have a record of 2-2. And that'll round out day number 3. That is, what is that? 24 games. That's how you do math. Whew. 48 of the teams. Yeah, so if, going back, I had kind of started a thought there and then surprisingly got distracted and forgot. If Alabama, Northwestern, and Ohio win, we could have a really good matchup between Ohio and either Alabama or Northwestern in the Sweet 16, which would be cool because those mascots are all really, really good. We'll go ahead and cover this back up. Whoop. Pardon me. Delete that real quick. All right. Kansas and the Yosemite Sams of Texas Tech are going to tip off day number 4. Kansas and Yosemite Sam. Should have gone the other way. Too late. Got to go around the dial. You know what? Even though I goofed up and went the wrong way, got to make a Toy Story reference. Toy Story 2 reference to be exact and specific. It's said by Ham. No big deal. Anyway, hey, I really love Toy Story. Texas Tech Red Raiders. We have, I'm sorry, excuse me, the Texas Tech Yosemite Sams. You know what I should do is I should have paired UNLV against Texas Tech for the superior Yosemite Sam, but that would have to be pretty late in the game, I think. UNLV, I think they play in the top half of the bracket. Yeah, they do. They play in the bottom half of the top bracket. They play on day 2, so that would either be a third place matchup or a finals matchup. But if somebody reminds me next time we do this, I can make sure that they face each other, because I think that's a funny joke. Anyway, Kansas is looking to improve on their best finish, which was a Sweet 16 back in September. Currently working with a 3-2 record. Texas Tech, however, hasn't won ever. They lost a heartbreaker to Wisconsin in the first tournament, and I don't remember who they lost to in the second tournament. I believe it was actually Ohio, but I'm not 100% on that. So they're looking to topple the Jayhawks and take their 6 shooters on in to find the rascally rabbits. I don't think there are any rabbits in this. No one would have a rabbit mascot. Doesn't make any sense. I'm sure that, you know what, there's a jackalopes. I bet it's a South Dakota State. Why do I know this? Why do I know this crap? Why do I know how to cook a pizza in an oven without burning it? No. Do I know what mascot might have a rabbit? Or what college might have a rabbit mascot? Of course I do. Come on. Anyway, next up we have... Oh, this is a good matchup. I like this one already, because I know that we're working with the Dayton Flyers and the Miami Hurricanes. M-I-A-M-I. The U, they're going to have to fight the Flyers, which I just love the Dayton mascot. It is so dumb. It's so good. And I wish we could watch them more, because their best finish is only the round of 32, which means they're working with a 1-2 record. Miami is the same. They both finished the round of 32 in the September mascot tournament, and they are also working both with 1-2 records. God, if it was just based on mascot looks alone, Dayton would make it far. They wouldn't win, but they'd make it far. I love it. I love it so much, I'll let you look at it a little bit more while we get Oklahoma going here on the bottom. Oop, don't look at that. That's bad. Don't look at that. That's not for you to see. Not for you to see. We have Southern Miss and Oklahoma. Oklahoma and Southern Miss. Pretend that I didn't look at my page because I forgot. Also, I don't know my alphabet. Southern Miss, the alma mater of Brett Favre. So there you go. Originally, I had in the first mascot tournament, I had a few extra matchups that were in there, and one of them was Alabama versus Southern Mississippi, which was the incredibly stupidly long named Green Bay Packers Super Bowl winning quarterback alma mater bowl, or some garbage ass name like that. That I was like, oh, look at a lot of words all jumbled together. That's pretty funny, right? Not really. I mean, it's pretty funny. It's a cool concept. I like the idea. But anyway, moving on. I also had Tennessee and Texas play a lot more, that's a matchup I should bring back. I should bring back Tennessee, Texas. And I should bring back... So here, we'll do this. The four matchups of the next tournament will be the apple basket between Washington and Washington State, Ohio State, Stanford, the Yosemite Sam to the death Looney Tunes Memorial Cup between UNLV and the Texas Tech Yosemite Sams, which you'll be really sad if UNLV wins and Texas Tech has to like not be Yosemite Sam, and then we'll do Tennessee and Texas. That's good. That's a good 4 matchups. By the way, Southern Mississippi's best finish, round of 32 back in September. They went 1-2. They lost to Alabama in the first tournament, and then Oklahoma's best finish, never won. They continue to be on the losing end of things. They're 0-2. They'll look to pick up their first win against some Eagles. So dog versus bird. And then if you want, you can, because it's called Boomer Sooner, you can say okay Boomer a lot when they play. So there you go. If you enjoy meme jokes that'll probably be out of date by the time the tournament starts airing, go for it. This might be the best first round matchup of this tournament. We have Weber State and Tulsa. There's Weber State. And here is Tulsa. I don't even know who to pick. I love both of these, especially the Golden Hurricane, a mascot that doesn't exist anymore. But my God, that Wildcat is so good. So good. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so bummed. This is way down the line. This is the halfway point or so of the 4th day. One of these beautiful mascots is going to advance to the round of 32. And one of these teams will pick up their first win in any tournament ever because they both have never won anything and they're both 0-2. Oh, it's beautiful. It's just a beautiful matchup. I know which one to highlight when I make like the tweet and stuff. This is the matchup you highlight. This is the thumbnail you put on the video. This is the stuff that gets people in to watch your stuff. Weber State and Tulsa. Honestly, there aren't any better things, whatever. Any better matchups this day or any day? Oh, it's great. It is great. Next up, we have Arizona. Let's go on over to the A's. Arizona, the Wildcats. They are facing off against the... Ooh, I really like this mascot. Go with LM... The Minnesota Golden Gophers. Big fan of the way it's like a cartoonish, cartoony, cute mascot. I really like the logo as well. Golden Gopher playing basketball, and Minnesota had the best college football helmets that I've seen in a very long time when they played their bowl game. I am a sucker for two things when teams wear college football helmets. I love numbers on the side with a logo on the other, and I love the chrome look. They did both of those, but instead of the logo, it was the mascot's face, and it was incredible. Actually, here, let me see if I can find a picture of it. I'll show you. I'll share with you. Minnesota, nope, not the Vikings. Golden Gophers helmet. They also do this really great thing. Bowl game. They do a really great thing at their stadium when they play at home, where they have it. They've done it before. That's not it. How does no one have a picture of this? That's really cool. Hey, welcome to the stream. You get to just... Oh, that's neat. They changed their logo based on the sport. Oh, where is it? Guess it's not there? That sucks. That's unfortunate. I'll just have to live on in my memory. That's okay. Go Beavers. Go Gophers, though. I really like it. It's a tremendous helmet. I hope they use them more. Minnesota's football team had a very good season. Um, but they put during like field goal kicks, they put like a super zoomed in face of a golden gopher on the board to distract the kickers, and it's pretty funny. Did I read the stats of these? Arizona's best finish, Sweet 16. Back in March, they have a record of 2-2. Minnesota's best finish was the round of 32 back in September. They have a record of 1-2. So there you go. Oh, the Golden Gophers. You're so great. Next up, we have Maryland versus Missouri. So we had a double M. Missouri, I believe, was the home team. We'll go over here. Boom, 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 ba-doom. Maryland. M-A. And it was the second one. This is a good matchup. I like this. Terrapins. I like the turtle. We have one of the Ninja Turtles competing. That's pretty cool. We have the Missouri Tigers, who say hello. Hello. How are you? Would you like a high five? Oh, man. Hey, can you tell that I only slept for like 3 hours last night? Maryland's best finish the Sweet 16 back in March. They have a record of 2-2. Missouri, best finish the round of 32. And that was back in September. They currently have a record of 1-2. And we'll finish up with just a couple more games here. Oregon is making their long-awaited return. That's what I was looking for. I was stuck on that verb, but I was also stuck on the word debut, which doesn't make any sense. Oregon will be playing Arizona State, if I can figure out my alphabet here. Arizona State and Oregon. This is kind of an ugly matchup. I do love the Oregon Duck mascot. I'm not the biggest fan of the Sun Devil mascot. I'm glad they changed their logos more to the pitchfork sort of thing. I think his name is Sparky. Sparky versus Ducky, I guess. Then we get Forky in there. Arizona State, their best finish is first. They won the September mascot tournament. They have a current record of 6-1. Oregon, their best finish was the round of 32. They did not play in the September mascot tournament, so they currently have a record of 1-1. Both Oregon and Oregon State played in the round of 32 back in March, and somebody that filled out a bracket had a lot riding on both of the Oregon schools, and they lost back to back and just crippled that bracket, and I felt really bad about it because they were doing so well. Like they were crushing it, they were hanging in there, and it's just two teams immediately just took it out. Gosh, but good to have Oregon back. I like them. If you're curious, I didn't write the stats down, but the two teams that I used to replace these two teams were both in the S's, and it was the Sam Houston State Bearcats, who originally got cut from the March tournament because I don't like that they spelled cats with a K. And the other team was this. Southern Illinois. So they didn't get the call back this time, and they said, you know what, I'm gonna go back a couple years with the game. Thank you for contributing to the September tournament. We'll see you later. So Oregon and Cincinnati will always have kind of weird records. And then the final teams to play are Ohio State and Stanford. This is a joke from going down to a Cougars game. My mom mentioned that she doesn't like the Stanford mascot or the Ohio State mascot, and she said, and I quote, "If they ever played in a game, I would hope that it would end in a 0-0 tie and no one would win." So this is hopefully they don't score any points matchup, and this is what ends the first round of the tournament. So we start with the apple basket, and then we end with the 0-0 tie hopeful game. Neither team has performed particularly well. Ohio State still hasn't won. They are 0-2. So kind of like Washington State, they keep getting matched up against the same team, and they just can't get over that hump. Maybe this is the tournament for them. And then Stanford's best finish is the Sweet 16 back in March. They currently have a record of 3-2, and the only team that they've consistently beaten is Ohio State. Fun fact for you fans of the Huskies over there being like, oh, the Huskies are so much better than the Cougars. They currently only have a record of 2-2, which means they can only beat the Cougars, and that's it. It's Pickle Rick. No, it's not. It's the Stanford tree. Who's Pickle Rick? So there you go. That is every matchup of the first round of the Mascot tournament. Again, tipping off over on twitch.tv/ShaunosaurusRex on March 1st. I hit the microphone. I apologize for that. Sorry about that. I did write down a few fun facts for you. We have 2 games of someone has to win. We have Marquette at Baylor, and we have Weber State at Tulsa. Weber State at Tulsa is probably my favorite matchup of the opening round. There is a really good opportunity to have some great matchups in the second and third round with Ohio, Northwestern, and Alabama. But as far as the first round matchup goes, Weber State and Tulsa, hell yeah. There are a whopping 15 teams that still have not won yet, including Ohio State and Washington State, who continue to get matched up against the same teams over and over again. Man, I didn't realize that so many teams were just like, hey, 0-2. We showed up, shot some baskets. But that will drop to 13 because either Weber State, Tulsa, Marquette, or Baylor will win their games. Both of the champions from the previous tournaments either won their tournament or they got eliminated in the first round. So Duke won the first tournament. They won pretty easily. They lost immediately in the September tournament, and the reverse was true for Arizona State, who lost in the first round of the first tournament and then went on to win it all. And then, like I said, LSU has played the most games. They have 12. They've played in both third place games. Louisville is in second with 9. Louisville in second with 10. Alabama in third with 9. Tennessee, Gonzaga, Syracuse, Florida, Duke, and Arizona State all have 7. And then that was going to be my segue into that other thing that I told you. So while 2 teams either won it all or they packed it up. So there you go. That's all the matchups. Just keep in mind, this was just kind of a fun thing to show you the mascots so you know kind of what they look like and you know who to pick. If you like Tony the Tiger, you know to pick Memphis. Send him far. If you enjoy a Buckeye for some reason, you can pick Ohio State. Now you know what Brutus the Buckeye looks like. So hopefully you enjoyed. I love doing these. They're a lot of fun. There'll be lots of action. It usually takes around 32 hours or something like that, which is a lot of hours, but it's a really good time. It'll be on twitch.tv/ShaunosaurusRex on various days throughout March, but it starts on March 1st. That's a Sunday, and then Friday the 6th, Saturday the 7th, and Sunday the 8th will round out the first round, and then we'll keep working our way towards a champion. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed. Again, you can fill out a bracket. You can go right there, right below me. You can fill out your own bracket and see how you do when March Mascot Madness tips off again at 4 p.m. on Sunday, March 1st. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Oh, shoot. Which one did I leave it on? Oh, intro.